Anja Asks Anybody, a show where I talk to anybody I want. And today I have a stranger with me named Lillian Supanich, who is an artist who does paintings and toys. She makes actual toys of ugly ducks. And we'll get more into that, but hello.
Hi, great job on the name pronunciation.
Thank you. Is it, not to sound boomer, but is it, is it, Slovenian?
Croatian.
I was thinking Croatian. My name is actually Croatian. Anja.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not Croatian, but my name is.
I'm directly related to one of the most famous witches from Croatia, the Witch of Greece. There's a movie about her. A feminist writer did a whole thing about her, and now I'm here.
Can you tell us a little bit more about her? A brief synopsis of this person you're related to?
I haven't seen the movie because it's from 1920 and not a big picture. I've read parts of the book, but it's translated from Croatian. But there are mythologies about her witchiness because she was executed for it. Now, why she was executed is a little up for debate. The feminist book claims it's from that she was I think she was a either farmer or bread baker kind of person, and the author's story is that she was too prolific and the men in town got jealous, and
her bread was too prolific, or she had too many children?
Too good business. It was her business just was too hard to compete with, so you just kill them. And I think that's believable, but I think it's a little tidy for what I like to think of history. So my family started saying they think she was trying to control the weather.
What?
And she got caught for it, which is kind of similar to if you read
it sounds like a conspiracy theory, yes.
Yeah, because if she controlled the weather, then her bread gets good or whatever. And regardless, she was burned at the stake. And Baraka Sindek, I think is her. It's hard because through the different translations, I found 4 different names, but Baraka's pretty true and Sindek is pretty true, and I think that got eventually into Sapanich. So,
did you inherit any of the abilities with either bread or business?
I'm making money hand over fist, just everywhere I try. But no, I think I more likely will be burned at a stake. That's sort of what I think I inherited. Yeah.
Well, at least you'll have someone waiting for you on the other side to take you through the fire.
That's what I hope. She's going to be disappointed that I didn't make the bread business work.
So, it's just, I don't know you. Where did you go today? What did you do? What did you see? What did you notice?
Okay. That's so mean to do to a stranger, an actual stranger, because I went to work. I was so bored today. My work is pretty laid back, where I went in pretty late. I was sad today. My morning, I was deciding to be depressed, so I basically called out in the morning, and then I went to work and I sewed animal hands.
Animal heads.
Yes.
What is your workplace? Is it a puppet shop?
Close, kind of. It, in a way, because I make mascot costumes professionally. So yeah, I get to try a lot of them on because I'm exactly 5'9", which is our standard height, apparently.
Standard mascot height.
That's standard mascot height. And I get to puppet them, but my 40 hours a week are typically a lot of gluing and cutting and measuring and painting mascot heads.
What is one thing you have to consider when making a mascot costume, suit, outfit?
Yeah.
That you don't want to mess up, otherwise the whole thing is very difficult to reverse.
There are a lot of like the boring answers are all, make sure the client's pleased with the sketches and stuff, and you got to make them symmetrical, and that's what my boss is all breathed down my neck for, right? Is to get that stuff. But I think in the process, something you may not expect would be maybe like a vision is really hard to figure out. A lot of them see out of like the nose. There's a lot of screens that we put in for them to see out of and breathe out of to try and cool down the performers. That's sort of one thing we have to think about, is the circulation of the air and where they see, and it's generally we care more about it than the customers who are going to throw some intern into it. So I have an allyship with the lowest on that totem pole.
Have you ever had to be a mascot out in the wild?
I've been offered it. I've had to dress up for long periods for photo shoots, walking around, and I'm very heat sensitive. I have POTS, so I'll pass out too easily. But I've definitely been offered through my job, or my job has asked if I wanted to be offered through local places, and I always say no. It pays well, but I always say no thanks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard one time that sometimes mascot costumes have like actual air conditioning inside. Is this true?
Air conditioning makes me think of more in-depth, like cooling engineering stuff, but we make, cooling vests, and I have to install fans a lot, and this kind of stuff. But air conditioned might be higher brow than me. Like,
okay.
We generally don't make like big time NFL ones. We're usually like college and like just like companies versus like what is it called in baseball? Major leagues. We don't usually do major leagues, so maybe that's where the high
you do
budget
minor
goes.
leagues
And mid leagues.
Mid leagues.
I don't know if that's an idea, but
wow, semi leagues.
Yeah, and like food companies and stuff. We do big work for less active is basically what I'm picturing.
So recently I found myself in a park, Jellystone Park, where of course they have Yogi Bear and stuff with mascots, but they had an additional mascot, and it was an armadillo, and it was handing out peanuts.
Andy Armadillo. I know him well.
Did you make Andy Armadillo?
My company makes Andy Armadillo, and I've certainly stepped in. I've been Andy Armadillo in many a photo shoot. And we also do Jellystone. So those costumes that you had the pleasure to shake hands with were overseen by yours truly.
What about the Johnsonville Brats?
The ones at Miller Park?
Yes.
Yes, we do those.
Okay, I've interacted
racing
with
sausages.
Those.
Yep.
Yeah, I've written custom poems for 3 of the Brats and the Armadillo when I'm out and about, because I feel like a lot of times I'm doing typewriter poetry out in a hot festival setting, and I'm miserable in the heat, but I cannot imagine being a mascot having to endure that.
I think it must take a separate breed, because it gets hot after 5 minutes in air conditioned, but I'm a wimp about heat. So, and I don't know how hard it is to lug a typewriter around, so I truly think it's a different breed.
Yeah. Fortunately, I don't make the mascots lug my typewriters around. I got that under wraps. So yeah, you make an intentionally ugly duck toy you make a ton of them. Like, you're not just like sewing a duck toy. Like, you are manufacturing several duck toys, and they are ugly, but like in a compelling way.
That's a compliment.
Yes.
I appreciate that. I am putting them together. This project is a bit of a scaling up for me because I've made toys before that are sort of, in the toy world, it's called a hard copy, where you just sculpt and finish off with resin. So I'll cast and make the molds and sculpt, and you kind of get everything in the home environment. With this one, I did contact a man in Colorado who has a Safubi, which is soft vinyl. It's the type of material the toys are. It's a cheaper way to produce certain toys, and I paid him to have steel molds made and pull the plastics. I then assembled them, and there's a couple, paint applications and detailed things. So, but yeah, there are 60 of them that I've got to try to offload at some point. So any River West listeners, look me up. I don't think I'm allowed to promote my Instagram because there's a curse word in it, but
oh, well, I think it's okay because it's not one of the 7 words. It is stinky bastard girl.
That's it.
Yes.
To scandalize the audience.
Yes. Yeah, find Stinky Bastard Girl on Instagram and you will see pictures of these ugly ducklings. Is there like a story with their, do you have like a mythology for them?
No, I've resisted that aspect of it. The first one is named Oozin' Susan, but they felt more polished than the other toys I did, which is why I put them through. And any of my toys are going to be related to an ugly aesthetic in one way or another. This one, I think the ugly toys coming from gross out stuff like Garbage Pail Kids and whatnot is, I think you can see that here. And I really liked, it's sort of like a rubber duck. So something I left out of the packaging, but I suppose the package alludes to it in that Susan is taking a bath, is I would love these to wind up in dirty tub water. That's sort of the dream.
Yeah.
Rubber duckies.
You could have done some marketing this past weekend by finding some of the great floodwaters of Milwaukee.
True.
and let them swim.
I am not a very good marketer. Again, I was sad this last weekend, so I was too wrapped up.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to be sad.
No, I also it didn't flood much around here because I live in River West, and had I gone down to the river to let it flow, I wouldn't have got it back.
Yeah, that's true. And you have to be careful around the river. I hear there's a lot of raccoons with distemper right now.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I had a friend who had to fight off a distempered raccoon for hours, beating at it with sticks. It was a baby one, but it kept trying to attack her.
Yeah.
And she wasn't just going to escape it and leave it to attack someone else. So
Sure.
she was beating at it, and she still wasn't able to smite the distempered raccoon. It eventually ran into the bushes, but I saw on the computer, I saw an article from the Journal Sentinel saying that there are hundreds of raccoons with distemper found along the river in Milwaukee right now. So be very careful around that river with the distempered raccoons.
That's a good PSA, because I see raccoons and I hear raccoons fighting, and I don't think about distemper. I have gotten a rabies shot, but it was in the past. I think
that's
it's
a separate
expired.
disease.
Can I catch distemper?
No, but a dog can.
I don't have a dog.
Yeah, don't take your dogs down by the distempered raccoons just because they come up to you and are cute.
Unless you want a distemper dog.
Yeah, which it will die.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So like, you make duck toys, and you make your daily living in the heads and the bodies of mascots. You are also a painter.
Yes.
And I see, if I am correct, that you make sculptural assemblages and then you paint them from life?
That's true. Yeah, that's totally true. Lately, it's been pretty specific to making paper sculptures, just sketchbook paper. I'm not really going beyond the white paper for this current project. But yeah, I will make a, like, probably, they're not giant. They're maybe, I don't know, like 9 by 12-ish sculptures that then I'll reapproach in painting. I've always loved doing observational art and painting from life, and at a certain point that gets very academic with, you know, how many nude figure life paintings are, you know, exciting to look at is I mean, I love academic art, but I get bored of doing it. So yeah, the paper helps me reapproach that kind of thing and have a lot more say in the compositions of the paintings.
Yeah, I find them exciting as a paper artist myself.
Yeah.
I sense I can feel cutting them and ripping them and folding them when I look at them. And I recognized them as paper before I even saw a picture of your mock-up.
That's good to hear, because as I'm starting to show them, I always wonder how much emphasis to put on they are paper, they are made from life in the explanation, because I, don't think that's necessarily worth saying if it's clear, but yeah, I'm glad it's clear.
Yeah. What do you have any other things that you make? Like maybe taxidermy?
Yeah, I mean, I take every opportunity to make new stuff, so I don't want to go too wild with the invitation, but I do think on my Instagram it's Safubi artist, painter, mascot maker, and taxidermist. So taxidermy I would like to do more currently, but in the city it's a lot harder. I was doing it much more at my parents' house when I was living there between college and moving back to Milwaukee. I took some classes, and I used to really want to get involved with the public museum in town, and in 2017, right before I graduated, they laid off their entire exhibition staff, and a lot of people in town are fuming about what's happening with that, and I am too, but that wasn't the professional side for me, because that was sort of how I saw applying it, short of moving to the woods and working with hunters. But I do love doing taxidermy, and it is similar to my current work, but it's a different style of eyeballs in drawers and furs stuck on my clothes and all that.
Yeah. Do you have drawers of eyeballs at the mascot factory?
This is a question she had for me to prepare, and I have bad news. The mascot factory does not have drawers full of eyeballs. We have, because everything is made custom, most eyes, ears, and things are made to order, but there are drawers full of, like, big jobs, like, I don't know how much I can get into what happens with Jellystone. I think sometimes they like to keep the illusion
secret
alive.
sauce.
But
yeah.
I'll say there are certain stock parts lying around, just not eyes and ears.
Okay. Yeah, I had to ask because I worked in a puppet theater at one time, and we had whole drawers for, like, eyeballs, and that was one of my favorite parts of the job, was just walking past the eyeball drawers.
Yeah, I that's much more common in taxidermy, because you'll buy glass eyes and just store them for whenever. So in my apartment, I have piles of rat eyes watching me, just waiting for me to buy rats from the pet shop.
One time
feeder rats. I don't kill my own rats.
Oh, okay, yeah. Theater rats?
Feeder.
Oh,
it's
feeder
like
rats.
the frozen ones you buy for snakes, but I wanted to clarify I'm not buying live rats to taxidermy.
Yeah, so you defrost them and then you pick them apart?
Yes.
Okay.
It's easy practice I can do in an apartment versus I'm not. The reason I got that rabies shot is because I tried to do a skunk in my apartment, and I was nervous about the
yeah.
exposure back when I had insurance, good insurance.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably have a freezer I shouldn't open, right?
My parents do. They have a freezer I get reminded of pretty often, full of corpses. Are animals called corpses? There's no human corpses. Carcasses.
I think.
Yeah.
I think we get to be corpses and they get to be carcasses.
Ridiculous. Or meat. I mean, it's animals got it rough.
Yeah. Yeah. I was very interested when I saw a picture of something you had made. You had, for your senior thesis, created a creature's funeral, and you had a taxidermied creature. It looked like a gorilla.
It was Bigfoot.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? But like, okay, before I ask questions about it. So it was Bigfoot in a real coffin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you managed to get a real coffin with Bigfoot in it. And then you had chairs set up with all the silk, nice cushiony covers, and on each chair there was an individual container of Kleenex because everyone was so grieved for the loss of Bigfoot. It was very moving, and Bigfoot was very ugly, and it was very touching. And Bigfoot, I will also note, had extremely realistic looking nipples.
Yes, the nipples get a lot of attention, and you know that's on me for for focusing. I invited attention of the nipples, but I mean there's a lot of things to grieve about with Bigfoot. A lot of things are lost when Bigfoot goes.
Yeah, and when Bigfoot goes, I mean that was your senior thesis. You graduated in 2017. 18.
Yes.
Where is Bigfoot now? Like, where are you storing? Or was Bigfoot bought? Or did you burn Bigfoot? I mean, it's a lot to, like, keep a casket somewhere in storage.
She lives in a barn currently.
Okay.
In a couple separate pieces. Her silicone skin with all the individually punched coyote hair is in my parents' basement. And the body is living in, yes, the second layer of a barn. It has been used one time for, I think they called it Trunk and Treat. It was a big creature feature at some small town's trick-or-treat event. But she's currently collecting lichen in Wisconsin's most humid barns.
Wow. And so there'll be even more texture the next time you show.
Come to Trunk and Treat, everybody.
Yes. Yeah, so you do all sorts of things. Do people ever give you any guff like, pick a lane, artist. You're never going to be successful till you only do one thing over and over again and devote your entire life to it. I get a lot of that myself. So
Do you?
I have to ask you about that.
You know, I feel like I guilt myself about most decisions more than anybody else, but it's definitely like a note people would have if I associated with the professional kinds of folks, because I mean I recognize in the art world that there's a certain kind of art that sells and a certain kind of art that like is Instagram friendly, and I get too bored with that. I don't want to talk down to people who can make a career with art, because like if the compromise to make art is to find like to commit to a distinct style, like that's, if anything, they can shit on me.
Beep.
They can be against me. I have nothing wrong to say with them. They're making their living.
All right. Well, anything coming up for you that we can see in the real world?
I do have an exhibition coming up that is a little less of a showman than the Bigfoot, but still a pretty big venture for me at One Off Gallery. It's just opening up in, I think it still classifies as Walker's Point. Tiana Bowie just had an exhibition there. My gallerist Tina is just starting this venture up. It's in the Real Tinsel building. I think it's West Historic Mitchell Street, and my opening should be, I think, September 26th. It's either 26th or 27th, but 26th is what I think we've decided on, to show my recent paintings.
Oh. And so the 26th of...
September.
Yes. Okay, so next month.
Yeah, coming up.
You got to be writing that press release right now.
Boy, am I. I have a couple people...
Or Real Tinsel should be.
No, that's on me. I'm not associated with Real Tinsel. That's the sort of overarching gallery that One Off is inside.
Okay.
So you walk in the Real Tinsel door. But yes, I am responsible for writing my own statement. I have the lovely Brad Fiore is going to edit it.
Oh.
Do you know him?
I do.
Yeah. I just texted him on the way here asking if he would, and he gave a generous yes, because he's one of my favorite Milwaukeeans.
Yes. I'm going to just quickly change the topic because press releases are not interesting to our audience.
That's fair. Nor the artists.
Let's see here. Yes. What did you notice today?
Yeah, you started with that, and I called you mean. So many days it's hard with a full-time job to stop and smell the flowers and whatnot, and I'm guilty of that. But
okay, yeah, no, we're good.
Okay, but I made my coworker Joanne angry today, so I noticed the temper. We spoke of distemper. I noticed the temper of my friend Joanne. She's I think in her 60s. She's one of those sewers that's been there forever, and I made her mad by not listening to her. So I thought a lot about that.
So this is what you're going to think about for the rest of your evening, especially when you try and go to sleep.
I make her mad plenty. I'm not going to stay up about it, but I noticed it because, I, of course, feel like I'm in the right. Well, we didn't fight. I just feel like she overreacted because I simply didn't want to use the gallon jug that she recommended. So I think that I've also noticed my my attitude toward a 60-year-old woman changing today.
Yes, well, I imagine...
For the better. I love Joanne.
Yeah, I imagine by the time you're 60, you have some opinions about gallon jugs and which ones are good and which ones are not good.
And I may be wrong, but I think I've earned the right to have that confidence,
Yes. I cannot accurately judge the situation, but we are going to close out the show now. I'm going to thank you, Lillian, for coming on and taking a chance with me. I've never met you before.
True stranger this time.
And you can follow Lillian on Instagram. Stinky Bastard Girl is the handle. And all right.